The red light come.
Good evening, Mount Vernon. This is Council President Derek Thompson, and thank you for tuning in. This is our first work session of the new year, so Happy New Year 2026. Also, we'd like to welcome our new council members. We'd like to say welcome back to Andre Wallace, Councilman Andre Wallace, welcome back. And our re-elected Councilwoman Gleason, welcome back. And also our newly seated councilperson, Cynthia Turnquest Jones, welcome. So I know we are all eager to get some great work done for our city. In this work session, it works a little differently. We don't do the pledge and everything else for the work session. We just get right into business. So we're going to start with SBA. Hi, you can state your name and go ahead. Yes.
Pardon me, Council President, you want to do housekeeping?
I'm sorry, I forgot the housekeeping. So the housekeeping is if you ladies, if you need to use the bathroom, it's right outside this door on the right-hand side. Gentlemen, if you need to use the bathroom, it's right at the top of the main staircase. Also, if there's an emergency, let's go down the stairs together. Don't use the elevator and make sure everyone gets out safe. If you have a cell phone, just mute your cell phones so you don't interrupt anyone who's presenting anything. Thank you so much. Just got to move this. Yeah. No.
Okay, all right, ready. All right, first of all, I want to thank the council for having me. My name is Sharon Dooley. I'm a public affairs specialist with the U.S. Small Business Administration Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. We have been deployed to Mount Vernon because of the College Avenue fire. It was declared a disaster. So when we do a disaster, we do it by county. So the entire Westchester County is included in this disaster. We've come out to offer assistance to the renters as well as the surrounding businesses. So what we offer to renters are personal property loans. Renter may qualify for up to $100,000 for any of their personal property that they lost in that fire. That includes their furniture, their clothing, computers, even a vehicle that may have been damaged with water or anything else because of that fire. These loans are long-term, up to 30 years to pay back. No interest for the first 12 months, no payment due until 12 months. For renters, the interest rate could be as low as 2.875%. This is a disaster loan, so our loans come directly from the federal government. There is no bank involved. We go by credit history versus credit score. So that's why it's a little bit different than when the bank is involved. We ask several things for someone to be eligible for one of these loans. First of all, they have to be involved in that fire, a renter from that building of the fire. They have to be able to pay the loan back. We won't give somebody a loan and not, they're not able to pay it back. And then if there's, we ask for collateral for loans for renters, $14,000 or over. If it's under $14,000, there's no collateral required. Because they don't have collateral, that does not mean they will not be approved a loan. We just ask for them to pledge it if it's there. They can take one of these loans, and if they have renter's insurance and they have an insurance deductible, they can take one of these loans and pay that insurance deductible. If they have insurance, they don't have to wait for that insurance claim to come through to apply and be approved for one of these loans. They can apply and get the total amount of their damages, because these is based on damage. Even though they qualify for up to $100,000, we're not going to give you $100,000 if you only had $10,000 worth of damage. So it's based on your damages. And then if they do have insurance, and once that insurance claims comes through, by signing this loan, they're pledging that difference before, from the insurance to what the actual loss. We can't duplicate benefits, but we can supplement the benefits that they have received in cases like this. Also, if somebody lost everything in that fire and took a credit card and like say they got a new place and they went and bought new furniture on a credit card, they can take one of these loans and pay off that credit card, that total credit card amount, and still not have a payment due for the first 12 months and no interest accruing for the first 12 months. There's no prepayment penalty. So if they got, within the 12 months, if they wanted to pay it off, they can pay it off. No penalty for that. We also let them know that they're under no obligation to take these loans. If they are approved, they can take some, all, or none of the loans. There's nothing to apply. There's no cost to apply. However, there is a deadline for these renters to apply for one of these loans, and that deadline is February 17th. Right now, we are stationed in City Hall, so we have we call it Disaster Outreach Center located within City Hall right here. As far as I know, we will be here through this Friday, close the business. I don't know if it's going to be extended or not, but right now, all I know is up through Friday. And for the business in whole Westchester County, they may apply for what we call economic injury disaster loan. So we say EIDA loan. That means they may not have received, well, they didn't receive any physical damage, but for this fire, they may have lost customers. Maybe the power was cut out to their business. Maybe there was debris in the road and they still can't get to their business. And so that's what we call economic injury. And they won't know that until later on, because when there's a disaster, you're looking at the physical first, but it's still for businesses. There's no interest for the first 12 months, no payment for the first 12 months. And then these loans for a business, the max business can qualify for is up to $2 million. Everything is still based on, their damages, actual damages. And the interest rates for the businesses is 4%. So it's straight, straight 4%. And if a business, same thing, they have to have the ability to repay it. We're going to ask that they show proof that they did this business was in existence before this fire happened. So somebody can't say I had a business, I started the day after fire. It has to have been in business before then, but they still have the same things. Now that deadline for a business to apply is September 16th, because you're not recognizing their injury yet because it's not physical, it's not physical, so you can't see it. Their books may show it a little later on down the line that now my customer's relocated. So I've lost customers, I lost revenue. So that's what we can help them do with that. Like I say, we are located here in City Hall, but you can also apply online at sba.gov/disaster. Once someone applies, if they want a status check on their loan, because they just want to know, they can come into the center while we're still here, or they can call our 800 number, which is 1-800-659-2955, and they will give them a status update on their application. Any questions? I know that was a lot of information, so I'll stick around for questions, but I do ask you guys, if you can help us get this information out to your areas that you're covered, to let the business know it's for the entire Westchester County that may have received damages.
I just have one quick question. You said it's deferred for 12 months for both residents and businesses?
Yes, no interest.
And the interest is 4% for businesses, and how much for residents?
It can be as low as 2.875% for residents.
And is that before or after the deferment? Or is that just a flat rate?
That's just it. Whatever it is, a fixed loan. So whatever your interest rate is in the beginning, your interest rate is throughout that loan, the life of that loan.
Councilpersons, do you have any questions?
Can you repeat the phone number?
1-800-659-2955, and that's where they can call for a status update on their loans. I do want to say if someone gets a decline letter, I ask them to read it thoroughly, because sometimes the decline is not a decline. It may mean that they need to submit more information. So we ask them to read it thoroughly. And if there is an actual decline, they have 6 months to apply for what we call a reconsideration. That means maybe somebody had something in their credit or whatever that needs to be straightened out. You have 6 months to straighten that out and then resubmit it. And as long as they're in our system before that deadline, they still have that amount of time.
Awesome. Councilpersons, do you have any other questions? No? No? Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome information. Clerk, who do you have next? Yes, is this us? Mm-hmm.
Okay. Brad and folks, you guys are next. Whoever's with, to present. Yes.
Sorry? Yeah, Station Plaza, yes. All right, okay, sure.
Thank you. And once your presentation is pulled up, you can, state your name and go for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mhm. Okay, thanks so much. My name is Diana Kolev, and I'm with the firm of Del Bello, Danell and Weingarten. We're the attorneys for this proposed project at 20 Southwest Street. Also here tonight, we have Joseph Apicella of McQuestion Development. He is also the developer of the building next door at 22 Southwest. We also have Bruno Petrosanti. He's the project architect. So just to give you an overview of where we are, because we wanted to give you a brief introduction of this project that will be coming before you. It is 100 for sale affordable units. It is within the Mount Vernon West Hub District. It complies with all of the requirements of that zoning. We have been working with the city's expedited review committee and city staff since approximately August of last year. And we most recently met with the expedited review committee on December 8th. We made some changes to address some of their comments. And we do expect that the committee will issue their recommendation at that this council will be the approval agency. I'm going to hand it over now to Joseph Apicella to introduce you to the project and to give you an overview.
Thank you, Diana. Honorable members of the Mount Vernon City Council and Council President Thompson, we appreciate the opportunity to come before you this evening, give you a preview, if you will, before the Expedited Review Committee gives you their recommendation on this project. I thought it would be helpful and we could save some time to give you a preview so you could have a better understanding of what we're proposing here at this site. We have owned the property at this site for the last 7 years. Prior to that, as a council member, Wallace will recall, we had approved and we built 22 Southwest, which was a 16-story building, approximately 162 apartments, which has been extremely successful. Next door, we see the opportunity to redevelop that area and make it beautiful. What's different about our project from so many of the others is that it's for sale condominiums. It's very important, we feel, probably the first project of its kind in Mount Vernon in many, many years, to have for sale luxury style condominiums in the area of the Southwest Quadrant. I know there's a lot of housing proposed here in this corridor. I think this will be different. I think it's going to give people an opportunity to own and create generational wealth, which is what apartments don't do. Apartments are typically 9 to 12-month leases, sometimes 2-month leases. People move in, they move out. This will give people intent of permanency in the community, and we think this is very important. What we're going to propose is the aforementioned speaker, our attorney indicated, it's a 100-unit affordable housing project. It's at 80% of AMI. The units will range, and you will see in our presentation, from sale prices of $225,000 for a one-bedroom, $275,000 for a two-bedroom, and close to $325,000 for a three-bedroom. So you can see these are very affordable by today's standards. Anywhere here in Westchester, very affordable. We will be providing mortgage assistance for the individuals that qualify. for these homes. We will prioritize Mount Vernon residents. We can prioritize them in the process, but we cannot obviously discriminate in any way if people are qualified. Having said that, this is a brownfield cleanup site, much the same exact way as the adjourning site was a brownfield cleanup site. We were in the New York State cleanup program. We expect final approval in March. We would like to begin demolition of this site sometime in April because we need to demolish it in order to clean up the site. We have a number of contaminants on the site, almost identical to the contaminants we had at 22 Southwest, right next door. We have a great amount of experience cleaning up sites like this. We've done 7 others before this, not in Mount Vernon, but in Yonkers. Right now, we're building a senior housing project in Ossining on Croton Avenue as well. This is obviously a transit-oriented development site. We're literally at the foot of the train station. We have coordinated with the transit-oriented development group of the Metro North Railroad, and we've provided them with the preliminary plans you're about to see. And we're looking at this holistically. We've presented to the mayor and her staff, now the Expedited Review Committee, which is just about all of your commissioners, and we will reconvene with them this week after we've responded to their initial comments. They will make a recommendation as you're familiar with to you, and then we will come to you and you only for site plan and SECRA approvals on this site. We would like to break ground on this site sometime in October. And it looks like from a financing standpoint, we can do it. As you can see, this is and you're not getting a full picture. I wish it was clearer for you. It is a magnificent building. I would be so bold to say the most magnificent, thank you, building that has been built in many, many years. It is beautiful. It has amenities. You're going to hear about those amenities from my architect. And we really think this will help in the revitalization of this corridor. And we welcome the opportunity to give you this preliminary presentation. And we look forward to answering any questions you may have as time moves on. Thank you. And I will present to you our architect, Bruno Pietrosante. Bruno?
Thank you, Joe. And thank you, Mr. Commissioner, Chairman of Board. And I'd like to give you a slight presentation of this building. Excuse me, I'm a little hoarse. The building is going to be 13 stories with 2 levels of podium at the ground level, and the podium is a larger structure than the tower, where we will have parking, garage, also our main lobby entry, and a commercial space at the corner. This building will have adequate parking for all the units according to code, and we'll also have open parking for the commercial space, and will be in full compliance with the zoning as Joe mentioned earlier. The building is actually very special because the podium, which is a requirement by the Mount Vernon zone code, is actually an absolutely great idea that Mount Vernon has. It creates a pedestal scenario for the building. So this way, the structure is actually at pedestrian level, not so imposing. And we also have created a special features along the facades in precast material, along with decorative mesh and decorative panels that cover the parking. So parking is open and all that. The tower then is set back beyond the front of the building and extends up 11 stories above that, 10 of which is residential. The third story off the ground is going to be full of amenities. Now, person that's controlling the images, if we could maybe move ahead a little bit so I can show some of that. Keep, yeah. Again, just keep moving. Yeah. These are just area maps that show the location of the zoning and the compliance of the hub district, and it's suitably and defined because the location is absolutely perfect for commuters. The fact that you are against the train station, you're really literally right next door to it and attached. And you also very close to the Bronx River Parkway, so it's a perfect location for people that, you know, have jobs to go to, whether it's nearby or beyond. If we could go further, slide, that's a picture of the existing building, which is currently a 7-Eleven, and of course the former train station, which has become a temporary facility for the fire department. And of course, you see the Quonset hut there, where they keep the fire trucks right now. If you could keep sliding. That's just zoning information, which we can, you know, keep going, or a different population format. Keep going, please. Some more. That's just an axiometric view. This gives you a view from above, kind of a bird's eye view of the structures. You can actually see the promenade, or the podium, which is the structure at the base. Of course, then we have the tower above that. And of course, the tower, we didn't just do a rectangular form. We actually did a lot of, articulation and facade, which gives it a lot of interest and also provides you with more window space in an apartment. When you deal with a rectangular structure, you really don't get much opportunities for additional windows. So this really works well. If you could keep going on the slide, please. That's just the zoning information, our compliance. Next. That's a site plan, so you could actually see the building podium actually covers most of the site, except for the parking, which you see at the western end. The building actually comes over the drive-through. There's a driveway that goes in through the building and get to the parking. And also, by the way, the entrance to the train station there's two here. One is at the Mount Vernon Avenue entrance, which most people know. And there's actually another one at the southern end of the property, which you can see along there. This is a strip of land, which is open public space. So we created an opportunity to give access to the train station where the existing entrance is, and also is an easement, but also provided articulation of the space to create nice open opportunities for, recreation, or just a nice place to sit and view the landscape. And so this entire strip is actually going to be paved nicely, and we're going to have trellises, lighting, and there'll be landscaped as well. So it'll be a nice functional and aesthetic element to the entrance to the secondary entrance to the train. Also, at the street level there, that's going to be our formal pickup area for transit, for shared driving, or for Lyfts and for Ubers, taxis. That'll be a nice drop off, but also for public. If you want to drop off your spouse, your friends, or whoever, that would be the actual drop off and pickup area. It's going to be designated that way as well. If we could go to the next slide, please. This is just a plan of the garage. This is a below grade. So we have actually 3 levels of parking, one below grade. Next, please. And that's the main level, which you see the store, retail or commercial space on the right. And then there's a driveway to the parking area. So we have it actually an in and out, so it's one-way traffic. Then you see next to that is our lobby and the garage. And the garage will be fitted with EV stations based on the HUD requirements. And actually, I think we have 5 stations. And something that satisfies Westchester County regulations and it's kind of like wish lists. We actually have bike stands as well. So people that want to ride bikes or commute that way, it's much healthier, obviously. And we'll also have those located there. As well, we also will have EV for bikes. So in other words, somebody wants to recharge their batteries for bikes, they'll be there as well. Okay, next slide, please. So this is our second level, or third level, actually, of our parking. And so this actually, and every level will have a lobby. So there'll be a lobby with elevator and such. So then if we could go to the next slide, please. Okay, so this here is our main level of amenities. So in this location, you're going to have initially it's going to be a sales office. So we're going to have a sales office so people could come and make arrangements to view apartments and to sell or buy. We also will have a large community space which will be able to be flexible to be turned into several spaces. We will have a gym. And also, one thing that a lot of buildings are really lacking on is adequate storage space for the residents. So over to the left there, you'll see a whole bunch of lockers. We actually have 100, which is equal to each apartment. So every apartment is assigned of a storage space. And the sales office eventually will become management office. So there'll be people on site, super, that sort of thing, resident manager, and the like. Could go to the next slide, please. Okay. So here are 10 units on every floor. This is a typical floor plan. And on this floor, we actually, each floor, you actually have 1 3-bedroom apartment, which equals 10 altogether for 3s. And we have 60 2-bedrooms, which means 6 on each floor. And then we have 1-bedrooms. Altogether, the building will have 31 bedrooms. So majority of the apartments are going to be 2 bedrooms with the ability to have 1s and 3s. Next slide. Oh, the thing I failed, if you could go back to, please, I'm sorry. One more. Yeah, okay. The one thing I forgot to mention is we actually have a terrace on the main level as well. So this level will have access from either the main hall or the community rooms out to landscape terrace. These terraces will have planters, they'll have decking. We're going to mix up a little bit with pavers and concrete pavers and wood, or really composite, in order to kind of break up the space, not to make it look like a big ocean of pavers. And, you know, it'll be very attractive. People can sit out there, get some sun, and, you know, be very much in a social atmosphere. We could go to the next through 2, 3. Yeah, that up, back. Okay, perfect. This is the main roof. So the main roof is also going to be an amenity space, and we'll have also public space terraces. Up here, though, we actually have added some trellis areas. There may be some areas for picnicking, that sort of thing, seating and like, and also landscaping as well. So it's going to be, you know, and the elevator will go up to the top as well. And, you know, I think it's going to be very attractive and very beautiful spot to be at, especially with the views that you're going to get out of this spot. It's going to be absolutely fabulous. Okay, can you go to the next, please? So the next page is just the drawings of the articulation and the treatment and colors of the building. So you just, as I mentioned before, you can have precast materials at the bottom with these panels that are going to be articulated metal and be able to provide some very decorative elements to the building. Then, of course, the tower is going to be all done in panels, similar to the building next door. It will complement 22, but not be exactly like 22. We are looking to make this one a little bit more special than 22, but it won't detract from it. It will actually enhance it a little bit too. Next slide, please. So this is just black and white, and keep going, please. And just views of all around. Keep going. Same thing. Again. One more. That's another axonometric, just a view from above. Next. Get these engineering drawings, which I don't think we have that much interest in right now, and that's our final rendering. And thank you very much for letting me present this. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
I know our council persons would like to ask a few questions, but I just want to start it with.
Sure.
I know y'all said one bedrooms are 225,000, two bedrooms are 275, and three bedrooms are 325, right?
Yes, sir.
Do all of these have one or two bathrooms, or how many bathrooms are in
Each of
even the one bedrooms?
we have
Be a 1.5 for the one bedroom, okay. And also, you said this is gonna be a condominium, right?
That's
So will-
correct.
Is it anticipated to have a board for approval to be a part of the condominium?
We're in the process of creating an offering plan like you would with any, you're going to get a prospectus as you
Mhm.
would with any purchase. And that prospectus, Council President, is going to incorporate all the details, the economics, how the board is going to be created. It will be a board wholly from within the condo association once all the units have sold. Until they've sold, the sponsor, which would be us, would hold those positions. But once a majority of the units typically sell, then the resident owners would be on the board. We will also have a full-time resident manager that will live on site and will manage the facility. I also left two other things out I want to tell you. Maybe they'll answer some of your questions
Mhm.
in advance. There's going to be no pilot for this. We're requesting no pilot. There'll be market rate taxes determined by your assessor for the project. Level of sustainability will be the highest level of sustainability, passive house. So this will be a building we're hopeful can sustain itself over 30, 40, 50 years.
And with the amenities in place, because I know y'all gonna have a couple of amenities there, what would the maintenance fee look like per month?
We haven't determined that yet. We're still in the preliminary stages of developing a budget for the operation of the building, the first year operation. When we do that, we will certainly present that to you.
Okay, thank you. I know Gleason had a question.
Okay, so to me, it's a little confusing when you say affordable and market rate,
Mhm.
right? So is it just because the AMI is at 80%?
The AMI
Market, it's basically a market rate building.
Well, it's going to function in every way, shape, or form. Its appearance, its management. You're going to have also, I left out concierge. There'll be a full-time concierge, a desk there. You will have a resident manager 24/7 on site for security purposes and the like. When I say market rate, the building itself is going to function like a market rate building.
Okay.
The affordability comes in with the assistance of the state of New York and the county of Westchester. So they help us to bring the cost down, or else you'd never be at the levels that I'm talking about, 300, 350,000 a unit. You'd never see that, right? So we're getting the subsidies that enable us to do that so that we can get people here that qualify at 80% of AMI. Now, 80% of Westchester AMI is quite high. That's at 70, 80, $90,000 of income. These are not
96.
poor people,
Yeah.
right? So these are people who could afford to live there. The idea is that to bring condominiums into this area right now is to help to uplift economically this area. Heretofore, you've had nothing but affordable, across the board, affordable housing rental. This is a different product. This will help to uplift economically this area and yet afford people the opportunity to live and own a condominium.
Okay, so I just have a few questions and then I'll leave it.
Sure.
So the AMI will be the AMI of Westchester, not of Mount Vernon, correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's good to know. Also, how is the 7-Eleven and the temporary firehouse affected? Because my immediate concern is, we put that structure up there and, we're operating out of that site right now.
Mhm.
So how is that gonna, how are we transitioning that? Like,
Okay. We recently, as a matter of fact, within the past few days, sent letters to Corporation Counsel here and to the mayor's office regarding vacating that facility that was always intended to be a temporary facility. That was never intended to be permanent, nor would I think the fire department want that facility to be their permanent facility. They have been in that facility at the mayor's request because there was an emergency, and we provided and built out this temporary facility for the last 5 years.
mhm.
So now it's time to transition.
And what is the timeline?
The timeline is in the next few months. Next few months, we're asking to have the building vacated so we can do a demolition and we can reconstruct that building. There is contamination that isn't an emergency, but needs to be addressed.
And then how is 7-Eleven affected?
They're all affected.
Oh, they're all,
That entire facility will be taken down
okay.
and we will rebuild it. We've invited 7-Eleven to come back in, potentially. We've also marketed, I could speak lower now. We've also marketed to Starbucks. We've been talking to Starbucks for that site. I think that's an excellent site for a Starbucks. We have very good relationships with Starbucks, with 7-Eleven, with Aunt Annie's, with Cinnabon, all the commuter type coffee facilities that you could imagine. We have Chipotle that's at our facilities in Brooklyn, and we've spoken to them as well. So we have some really good opportunities here, and they love the idea of having condominiums, for sale condominiums above.
Okay, and my last question is, so I'm not familiar on how condominiums work and the setup after it is built. You said that there's going to be a concierge. How do we maintain the building management without it going? Because we've had some serious issues here in the city of Mount Vernon when it came to building management. Okay, and we've had a couple of really great companies come in and manage buildings. How are you, when you guys are out of it, how are you going to be able to secure that these, I mean, I know we can condition the application on certain things, but a concierge and building management, like how will you be able to secure that?
So as part of the creation of the offering plan, we have to create the first year's operating budget. That first year's operating budget can't just be based upon me and my firm's opinions. It has to be reviewed and approved for its efficiency and viability by the state attorney general. The state attorney general will review the first year's operating budget as part of the overall offering plan, and they will opine on it that it works or it doesn't work. I personally have been involved in creation of several high-end condominiums here in Westchester County, including 4 or 5 in White Plains, the Ritz-Carlton, Towers 1 and 2. We've created those. Trump Plaza, New Rochelle, we did that one successfully, and they're operating and they're doing quite well. Trump Park, Yorktown, and Trump White Plains, which is no longer referred to as Trump. So we have great experience in organizing and creating these offering plans and have every confidence that they would be successful.
That is all I have. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Any other council persons have questions? Boxer?
Good evening.
Good evening.
You were talking about prioritizing Mount Vernon residents. Every time a developer comes, they say that's not possible with state funding. And could you explain how are you able to do that?
Well, we can do both. As we do with all of our housing that's financed through tax credits with the state of New York, you're absolutely right. As I said, also, we can prioritize, but we can't discriminate against someone who may, when they go into the lottery, may be qualified before someone who's local.
So what does that mean in practice? Like,
As a practical matter, there's first come, first serve.
okay,
Those people who apply first and that are screened, that goes through the state of New York, not through us. Through the state of New York and the local entity for affordability, they will be screened first. Those who are screened and those individuals who are qualified will get first opportunity for the unit of their choice. Some people may want a one-bedroom, some people may want a two-bedroom, some people may want a three-bedroom. They have to qualify based on income. There's background checks done for all these individuals. They have to qualify for a mortgage. Remember, approximately 30 to 35% of their income is considered towards their ability to pay their housing expenses. So all of that is considered in the context of prioritizing who can get in first. How do we prioritize Mount Vernon and local people? Advertising. We, as the sponsor, will focus our advertising first and foremost locally. And by doing that, we tend to get more people locally. We did that with 22 Southwest, and we were pretty successful. We've got some people from the Bronx, we got some people from Yonkers, but we also got a lot of people, a lot of residents from Mount Vernon. So some of that is in our hands, council member, and we're going to prioritize that. We're not new to Westchester. We're born and raised here in Westchester. Rella Foliano and myself are the principals of this firm. I live in Westchester. She lives right up the road in Eastchester. We're going to prioritize Mount Vernon. Why? Because we're worried about doing the next job here. This is our third project here in Mount Vernon. And we own property here in Mount Vernon for over 25 years. So we're not some newcomers from a firm out in the Midwest somewhere. We're local and we take an interest and we care and we like Mount Vernon, or else we wouldn't be here.
okay. Just because I'm like, I don't know how this program
okay.
works. If you own one of these units now, you went through the process, you were cleared, you were approved, you purchased one. Can you sell your property? What's the rules against that? And who can you sell to? How does that work?
Those are great questions. I don't know all the answers, but I'll tell you what I do know. I know that there is a period of time, you can sell it, but there is a period of time where you have to hold it for that period of time before you can make a profitability on that unit. Because the state of New York is assisting and subsidizing the units. So if you're the state of New York, you don't want somebody to buy the unit, make a profit in a year on you, right? Because I help subsidize your unit. But I don't know what the threshold is, Diana, do you know? But I can get you that information.
Usually.
I don't want to give you bad information. I'd rather give you accurate information. Those are great questions. So I don't know the exact threshold, but I do know that you have to keep it for a period of time. It may coincide with the HCR and the mortgages. But I will get back to you with that information.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had.
You're welcome.
Council persons? Wallace has something?
Yes, I have a
Mhm.
few questions. Quick question.
Sure.
You guys, the two units that you built, one is the modern, right? You built
That was,
the
yeah,
modern.
that was the firm, yes.
Right.
Before I was with the firm, yes,
You built the modern.
correct.
You also built 22 West Grand Street,
Yes, sir.
right? When you built 22 West Grand Street, I was in office at that time,
That's correct.
right? I voted on it.
I know you did.
Do you remember what was the requirement that I had placed in the contract before I voted for it so it can pass?
There were a lot of conditions, council members, so I don't remember
I'll
a
give you,
particular condition.
I'll
There was,
give you-
there's always a series of conditions.
I'll give you the first condition and the most important condition. Where you are building this building was supposed to be a 3,000 square foot fountain area and open space for the people of the city of Mount Vernon.
Mhm.
You never did that when I got out of office.
Well, I'm going to look at the conditions.
In the contract, because
I'm
I
gonna-
made sure you put it in the contract before before I would vote on it.
Okay.
Because we know that we need open space. And what you did here with this new project is you did some open space, but you did it rooftop. So it's actually for the people that live in the building. It's not for the surrounding community for the street curb appeal and the beautification of Mount Vernon.
Okay,
So
so
I-
let me say this, that condition that you're mentioning, and it's coming back to me, it's been a while, 7 years ago.
Okay. it's on the
That,
top of my head.
you've got a better memory than I do. I applaud you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That condition was subject to a site plan like this one being built, not having it built in advance of a new redevelopment of this site, but rather when we redevelop this site, which is now. And we have incorporated not only the rooftop space, but we have incorporated open space to satisfy that requirement, I believe, at the ground level. But I'll defer to my architect because he's right here to my left.
Okay.
Yeah, as I presented earlier, I'm sorry. As I presented earlier, the south end of the building has a strip, which is public.
How many square foot is that?
I don't know
Sure.
offhand, but it's over 1,000 square feet. I don't know if it qualifies as 3,000 because
So that's 100 feet by 10 feet.
I
wide.
was not aware of the.
That's
numbers,
1,000
so I
square
can't- I
feet?
can't speak to that, but it can say is that was devoted to public space, that section that
So
we had.
you're giving us 100 feet by 10 feet wide
It's 10 feet wide for sure, and the.
and
depth
1,000
of-
feet and 100 feet.
Easy 10 feet wide, and maybe 100, maybe more, I don't know. Yeah,
It can't be 100 feet wide because 100 by 100.
no,
would-
10, I said 10, which you
Okay.
said. and it's-
But for the open space, if
Yeah.
you did not do it before, how can I believe that you're going to do it now?
I was not involved in that,
were
that's,
not involved.
that's, yeah. Mhm.
Council member, when you say we didn't do it before, we weren't required to do it before.
Yes, you were. It's in the contract.
We were required to do it when we redeveloped, and I'll look at that. Diana, you tell me if I'm
No,
wrong.
I-
You're the
Let me
attorney.
just say this, sir, Joe, and because I know you well. Can I call you Joe?
Of course.
I remember very well because I've been talking about it and I've noted it in the back of my head because I know that you guys never did it. And then I saw 7-Eleven appear and I saw the firehouse appear in the space. I get it. You guys made money, but what you did was disrespect the community and you took away that green space and that fountain that should have been there. I've even mapped it out for you. I remember because I told you it had to favor what's up in White Plains, right there on Main Street in front of Starbucks. That whole idea was that idea. So I remember that like it was yesterday because the people of Mount Vernon didn't get what you promised them. And I'm not saying you in general, but your company
I understand.
did not do what you said you were going to do. How can we believe that you're going to do all of this time? And the open space that your architect is describing right now of that small 10-foot by 100-foot strip,
Mhm.
what is that going to be? Is that going to be a dog run or something like that? How are we going to?
No, 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 no.
The people in there.
That's going to be first of all, that's going to be landscape decoratively. There's going to be trellis there. It's going to be that space is going to be a beautiful space. I'm going to follow up on what you've just said and make sure that the language in those conditions are met if they haven't been met. But I could tell you talked about, and it's certainly your responsibility, you talked about trust is what you're talking about.
It's-
And while we may not have provided that thereafter as a condition, which I don't believe we were obligated to do, but I'll check. We disagree respectfully. I tell you what we did do. When you had an emergency, we built a 5,000 square foot emergency fire headquarters for you. We did that in the interim. I think that's pretty good trust, Councilmember.
Where's that in
Right where your facility is right now.
So you're telling me the hot box garage tin over?
No, sir. No, sir. In the building, we built out dorms. I'm happy to take you through there. We built out bathrooms, showers, and bedrooms upstairs for your fire department.
Can I ask you this
That's
question?
I think that's a pretty good neighbor.
I think it is. I think it is, but did we pay for that? Did we pay rent for that?
You paid rent, but I paid for the build out.
Okay, but we're still paying for
On
it.
an-
This- Wait, hold on. The
On an
taxpayers
emergency
pay-
basis, we did that without any regard to other uses we might have put in there.
But you did that on emergency basis that we were able to pay you rent from the taxpayers, but you were not able to build the open space that you promised that was supposed to go with that building.
Right.
See, Joe, I'm
We're-
just saying.
We're gonna check that out.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong,
Yes.
if I'm wrong,
no,
I
you-
will
you-
come
you-
here
you
and
are-
say I was wrong.
Yeah, you are wrong. I'm 100% of that.
Okay,
I think I could go through my files and
we're gonna
find the
get
paper.
language. The language is the language.
But
Whatever
see,
it is, it is.
You guys, do you still own the Martin?
No, that's been
You
sold.
guys sold it.
Yes,
Do you still own West 22?
that's been sold.
That's been sold also.
Yeah.
So the buildings that you built was sold. And then you
Yeah.
guys want to build a third building and then, go on to the next community when we run out of space. But the point I'm making is no, Joe, I'm being straightforward with you. You know how I am. I speak my mind.
Oh, I know
But what
that.
I'm saying to you right now is you built the Martin. I remember, but I wasn't a councilman at that time. I was sitting right there in the third row.
Mhm.
I watched you stand here as we debated because I got up there and I spoke, and you said the Martin, when I told you that that building was 20% mentally ill, had to have 20% of disability of mentally ill in that facility, you denied it. And you said it wasn't, but it is. And I said the same thing that when the pilot runs out and stuff, you guys are going to sell the building off to someone else and go about your business. And now you sold it off and went about your business. How can after time, you've given your word, and you're a great speaker, I gotta say, good looking guy too. However, you have not kept the promise of anything to the people of this community. And now you come back again for a third round.
Mhm.
And how can we even trust you when you told us for the first building, it was something else. For the second building, it was something else. And now for the third building, you're telling us you're going to do this in the open space and all these things. It sounds great. It sounds grand. It sounds wonderful. I'd love to see it. But I know that there's a part because, I do work in the same field that you
I
do.
know.
Okay, so I do know when building condominiums the straight way, you usually have to have at least a certain amount of them sold before you could do it, if it's a private development type thing. So I understand that you're getting subsidies from the actual state and all, which is calling for the AMI, like my colleague had spoke about.
Mhm.
But the AMI that you're talking about is 80%. What if they don't sell? What if they don't sell? Are you allowed to rent them?
No, our program, we're going to have an offering plan here. Our program is to do nothing but sell these units, council member. These are
Okay.
for sale condominiums. So
Okay, so
we
it's going
can't,
through that
we're just
sa-
going to sell if I could just respond.
I'm sorry.
We're going to sell the units individually. As far as our other buildings, the last time I looked, this is a free market system. We're in business the way you're in business. You build and you sell, I think.
Yeah.
We build and we sell. Sometimes we keep. We had this building for 7 years. We had the prior building for more than a decade. So I don't think that goes to the issue of commitment. We could
This does.
leave we could leave this building the way it is right now. This 80, 90-year-old building, we could do that too. But we're electing to take more investment in Mount Vernon and to take that risk because it's always risk. You know that. You don't go in knowing you're going to make money. I don't know. You just got through saying you don't know if I could sell the units. I'm taking the risk. The risk is on me because if they don't sell, who has to pay the common charges? The sponsor.
Well, how much?
Excuse me,
how-
excuse me, can I just interrupt 1 second? I have to ask a question because I think that kind of goes to what Councilman Wallace is trying to say. Any funding that you're getting from the county, is it similar to, I think it was Peekskill? Where they were doing the affordable condos and selling them? So is the criteria to get any funding from the county for this project, a part of the criteria, it being that they be sold as condos and not rents?
Exactly right.
Thank
That's
you.
exactly right. And the program that we're applying for is called AHOP. You can
Mhm.
look it up on the, it's new, only about a year and a half old, and there's only been 2 other projects.
Yeah, I
here in
believe one of them
Westchester
is in
built under
Peekskill.
that.
I think
No.
AHOP was the one in Peekskill because
Yes.
I had researched it for,
Councilwoman, you are correct.
say it again?
I said you are correct.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. So anyway, we look forward to working with you on this. We will verify, and if you're right, I'll be, like I said, I don't, you claim you are, and I believe you. But I'm going to come up here after reading it because I'd be irresponsible just to say from 7 years ago, I remember what was in the condition. But I'm going to read it, and I'm happy to come back, and if I'm wrong, well, by golly, we're going to make a change. We're going to make it right.
How do you make it right when you're putting a building?
We
in
look at
stock?
we'll look at our site plan and see if we can accommodate this kind of amenity that you're suggesting we had an obligation to do.
How big is your building footprints that I saw just now looks like it was about 15,000 square feet. Is that correct?
Footprint, yeah.
Sure, with the question is going,
The-
but
the-
if you,
The footprint of where you are going to do your development, the footprint of the building, how many square feet is that?
I don't have that information from me. I have to look at my drawings, but the thing is.
You want me to
there's
look it up
always
for you?
Opportunity to make a change in the layout to accommodate your issue, if that's what we have to do. Also, I think if there's an opportunity with an adjoining property nearby, we may be able to offer that as well. So that question is going to be answered at another date. Once you have an opportunity to check into what your facts are. Okay? But
So-
the site is the site, and the site may be modified to accommodate anything if we need to. Okay?
And that's in fact why we're here. We wanted your input. That's why we came here. We wanted your input. We want you to tell us what our obligations are, what you think our obligations are, and we're happy to work with you. We're not here in an adversarial way. We're here early on in the process to give you a briefing. That's, we haven't even gotten through the committee yet, the expedited review committee. So
Well-
we try to, in a good faith, we came here today.
Instead of the expediting committee, do you have a problem with going through the zoning and the planning committee so that they can vet this as well as the ARB?
Oh, absolutely, because we qualify under the zoning law. We've already been qualified under the expedited review. Why would I want to delay this project a year?
Because instead of the council sitting here trying to vet all of these things, it would be better that the planning department, which sits under the council, can vet all of these things and bring it back to us.
That's not where your zoning law says, sir. The same way the approval you gave us, you were part of that 5 years ago, was part of an expedited review process. You participated in it at that point, and the council back then voted in favor of certain zonings being in the expedited review process, and that's what this qualifies for. Why would you want us to go through a circumvented process?
Well, because I'm saying this is going to have to be vetted very much, right?
Well, it's being vetted
By who?
by the expedited review committee, all of your commissioners.
Can you tell me who is on that expediting committee for my council members?
That's a building commissioner, planning commissioner, DPW commissioner, engineer, city engineer, all of your professionals.
Okay, I believe one of them live here.
Listen, I didn't create this process. You did, the city council did. So it's your process. We're following it. We're doing the best we can. And I'm happy to, and we're happy to do whatever we need to do to move this along.
So you're saying
If the
that you want
council
the
feels
council,
otherwise, that's fine.
oh, so you want council to be lead agency on this instead of planning on lead agency?
They are.
Okay.
They are lead agency. That's not something I'm creating. It's something your zoning created.
Okay. All right.
Do we have any further questions, council persons? Turnquist Jones?
Thank you for coming.
Sure.
I like what you talked about, creating generational wealth, because we do need that here in Mount Vernon. I am interested in the conversations that you've been having with Metro North, because that's Metro North, Mount Vernon West, right?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Metro North.
Well,
I
the
would like
Metro
to
North
know the
Railroad.
conversations that you're having with Metro North. We would love for Metro North to be revitalized. I leave out of there a lot of times. And we have a lot of boys that leave from here, Mount Vernon and Yonkers, and they attend this private school, this all-boys school, Fordham Prep. And they are constantly on the platform. They are not disruptive, but the area around them looks very disenchanted. So I'm really interested in how Metro North will be working alongside this project.
Thank you. I can tell you that I did submit all of the plans to Metro North Railroad's Transit-Oriented Development Group. They have their own group that does transit-oriented development. I have also, along with your mayor over the last several years and your state senator and others, lobbied to have that station revitalized. White Plains got a $50 million facelift. We, as a member of the private sector, yes, we own the property abutting it, and it's an advantage to us, but it's also an advantage to the Mount Vernon and Yonkers commuters to have to go through that facility, which is dirty. You've got an elevator that doesn't work. You've got bathrooms that are in disrepair. And I've made some strong arguments, and if you talk to people who are on those calls, as to why it's happening elsewhere and it's not happening here in Mount Vernon. That's a really good question that I'd like all of us to ask them. They keep saying we're in the capital budget. We're in the capital budget. Well, that's been close to 10 years. And congestion pricing was supposed to be able to address this, but we don't see it.
Any other questions, council person?
I have one more question.
Go ahead.
Prior buildings that are supposed to be for the residents of Mount Vernon, I find that more people came from Bronx and elsewhere and other places than the people in Mount Vernon for those. I understand that this lottery is going to be open wide. What's going to stop it from having the Mount Vernon residents? And is there a way, because I'm saying if you're going to build this condo ownership type of thing, okay, which I agree with, it's a wonderful program when the lottery, and it's usually for, you have to live there from 7 to 10 years, depending on which community it is. Why is it not opened up for first responders or set for those kind of things, our school teachers and other people that are not being paid enough as it may be right now to offset those kind of things? Why is the lottery or a certain portion of that building, maybe 50% of it, for our police officers, our firefighters, our school teachers, and all of those other people that have to live outside of Mount Vernon to find some place to live because they can't afford to be inside Mount Vernon? So are we going to build this in a lottery where we're going to pick all these people from around the city, which I'm saying not, when I say around the city, not in our city, around our city, surrounding areas, Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, upstate, here, there, wherever, and bring them more in here? Because the impact of all of that is creating a very big, heavy load on the citizens of Mount Vernon. Usually right now, the actual city, okay, cities, the actual amount of people per population is supposed to be anywhere from 4,000 to 10,000 per square mile. Mount Vernon's at 23,000 people per square mile, almost 3 times the maximum. We don't need to bring more people in here, especially when it takes away from our services. You understand? So what I'm saying is, I'm going to give you an example, and I want to make it clear, just also for my colleagues to understand, that when, let's say you're the first child born and your allowance is $1, right? Now here comes your brother, the next one, right? Your dollar's now 50 cents, right?
That's right.
Okay, and then here comes your little sister. Here she comes rolling in, right? Now you got 33 cents, right? How much frustration you're going to have as the next and the next come and you see yourself down at 10 cents. That is how it is with the services of Mount Vernon, because as we keep overloading the population here from outside, it takes away the services for the people that are here inside. So what I'm looking to see is if you're going to build this development, and you know I'm going to be all over it with you, because I don't have a problem with it, but I have a problem with how it's being done. And if it's not for the people of Mount Vernon, then it's really not for me. Thank you.
Well, council member, I can tell you that I wish we as a developer could control that, but that conversation has to be had with the state of New York. They control how and who can get these units. We have no control over that.
You can make that suggestion, and you can make
I
sure that
can.
it is for the people of Mount Vernon. So those people that are living in affordable housing that may have built, maybe even at the 22 West, can have that opportunity to move in. You can state it any way you want with the state of New York. You can work it that way. You can turn around and say, this is for our first responders, this is for our teachers. We want them to live here. Because I would
all in
like
favor.
all of those folks that work for us, like firefighters and all these people that live outside and have to move all the way upstate to get an opportunity like this. I want my police and firefighters and school teachers and ambulance workers, I want them in my community next door to me. That would make it a lot better for this kind of project. So maybe those are the kind of things that you can have in that conversation when you talk with the state.
Agreed.
Gleason?
Yeah, I want to second that, what Councilman Wallace said. And I'm sure when you go back to the funding sources, they would agree. But I think you said something that was very pivotal at the very beginning. And it's something that we've struggled with projects, you know, coming into the city of Mount Vernon. Like, we could put a priority on certain people. Unfortunately, we can't discriminate against others, right? But if there could be a priority regarding first responders, teachers, and people that live in Mount Vernon, or at least work in Mount Vernon, I think that would definitely be a community benefit that could help your project even more.
We're happy to do that. And I think when you talk about burden on the community, regardless of whether it's Mount Vernon people or people coming in from outside, I think what's unique about our project, what I'm really proud about, is the fact that unlike just about every one of the new projects that have been approved in the last 5 years, this is not relying on a pilot.
Mhm.
We're paying full taxes here. That's pretty good.
That is a good thing.
Last, I just agree with Councilman Andre Wallace on the fact that we make sure that we are attracting those who are working here in Mount Vernon. So when you are focusing on your advertisement, that you are making sure that you are talking to the people who are working here, especially our young young professionals who have always asked, how can we stay here in Mount Vernon? I think this is a very perfect opportunity for you to start reaching out to them and making sure that they are part of this. Thank you.
Also, last thing for me,
Yes, sir.
I think it's a great project, the way it's presented, price point wise. However, my question was the maintenance fee, because that's what really drives, if a person can actually live there. Because yes, you may have enough money to afford to purchase, but sustainability after the purchase, if the maintenance fee is too high, because everyone knows the more amenities you have, the higher your maintenance fee is going to be. So that really determines whether the person purchasing is going to be able to really live there long term and not have to struggle. So I'm eager to see what your price point would be for the maintenance fee.
I have some homework to do, and when we meet next, I will be able to answer that in detail
Mhm.
on a spreadsheet that we'll present to you on the screen, and you'll see what the common charges and the first-year operating budget's going to be, and you'll know exactly what the affordability level is, because a mortgage of $300,000 may not be so burdensome, but if you add $1,000 a month onto that, or $2,000 a month, they can't afford it.
Correct.
completely in agreement. You'll have all that information. And remember, the state of New York Attorney General has to sign off on the viability of that budget at the end of the
Yeah.
day. So, and we will verify all of the questions that were asked here. I promise you that.
And one last question, when
Certainly.
you do calculate that, what Council President is saying about the maintenance fee, can you bring it back with the calculations of the maintenance fee with the taxes?
Absolutely.
So that is one whole understanding of what they would pay, then we can calculate also by what the mortgage rate is going right
That's right.
now, along with what they're taking for that loan against that piece of property?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Remember,
then-
the state of New York, when we make our application for funding, which we're doing right now, they look at all that. They're not going to lend me the money unless they know we have a budget that works. It has to work, including taxes, insurance. Insurance is an extraordinary cost these days. Taxes, insurance, maintenance, utilities. All of those things will be on the spreadsheet. This is not something we're going to willy-nilly do. It's got to work.
Okay.
If it doesn't work, we can't sell the units, by the way. We're joined together. This is not you versus us. Either
So
it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We
We-
believe it will.
Yes, we appreciate your presentation. We don't want to deter you by the questions, but the questions are necessary.
Not at all.
So that's why we,
Not
you
at
know,
all.
so thank you so much.
And I have to tell you, Council President, these questions are almost identical to the questions that were posed to me last year in Ossining. We're building a project in Ossining. They said the same exact things. How can we prioritize local people, police, firefighters, teachers? They said the exact same things. So I'm with you.
Well, so
I'm with you.
appreciate it. We're looking forward to seeing you again and finding out more.
We want
Thank
to
you
win
so
your
much.
trust. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for your presentation. Clerk, do we have any more presentations for the evening?
There's no more presentation.
Council President, I'd like a motion to go into executive session to speak about legal issues.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call on executive session.
Councilmember Box Hill? Councilmember Gleason?
Aye?
Councilmember Turnquest Jones?
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace?
Aye.
Council President Thompson?
Aye. The time is now 8:19 PM and we're going to executive session. Be back shortly. Caitlin.
Good evening, everybody. We are back from executive session. I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call on exiting executive session.
Councilmember Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason,
Aye?
Councilmember Turnquest Jones,
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace,
Aye.
Council President Thompson.
Aye. Okay, we're gonna get right into our tally sheet. And those who are watching who may be new to this, this is where we decide to put things on the agenda to be voted on or not. We'll go right into legislation and public works.
Thank you,
Please.
Mr. President. Item number one, Management Services, Department of Management Services, an ordinance authorizing the procurement manager to attend the 2026 Exchange Conference sponsored by the National Association of State Procurement Officials. That is on the agenda. No taxpayer money is being expended. Item number two, Mayor's Office, Office of the Mayor, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to attend the New York Conference of Mayors, NICOM, 2026 Winter Legislative Winter Meeting, February 1st through February 3rd, 2026. That is on the agenda. Item number three, Office of the Mayor, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to attend the United States Conference of Mayors, USCM, 94th Winter Meeting in Washington, D.C., January 28th to January 30th. That's on the agenda. Item number four, Public Works, Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing a budget transfer for the renewal of iWork sewer management and fleet enterprise software. That is on the agenda. Item number five, Board of Water Supply, an ordinance adopting the fiscal year 2026 operating budget of the Board of Water Supply of the City of Mount Vernon. That is agenda pending. I just received it this evening. I did not get it prior. So I think it's up to all of us to really read it. And if everybody can get back to me tomorrow and let me know if they're okay with it, we'll put it on the agenda. If that serves the council, everybody okay with that? Okay,
She would like everyone to look through this tonight, tomorrow, and get back to us sometime tomorrow.
please.
So it'll be on the agenda.
Okay, item number six, water, Board of Water Supply, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a software as a service agreement with Tyler Technologies for the implementation of an enterprise resource planning system. That is going to be agenda pending. I just want to have a conversation with Director Perez and make sure he's okay with this software. That is all. And I will be having an add-on on Wednesday,
Cool. Oh, okay.
appointing somebody to the Ethics Board.
Correct. Thank you.
Okay? Thank
All
you.
right, Human Resources, Turnquest Jones.
Good evening, everyone. Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the New York State Office of Children and Family Services for the funding of the Youth Bureau Empower MED program set to commence in February 2026. That is on the agenda. Number 8, Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to retroactively enter into an agreement with the Westchester County Youth Bureau to accept funds for the GEM program and to provide required city matching funds from January 1st, 2026 and ending in December 31st, 2028. I would like to make this an agenda pending. The referral letter has to be a little clearer. Would you like that clarification now? Thank you. Number 9, Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the New York State of Children and Family Services through Westchester County Youth Bureau and authorizing the acceptance of funds for the Youth Development YDP October 21st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026. That is also on the agenda. Number 10, Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Westchester County Youth Bureau for the acceptance of grant funds in the amount of $25,000 for the Moving in Motion MIM program, October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026. That is on the agenda. Number 10, Youth Bureau, sorry. Number 11, Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to approve travel and conference participation for youth and staff of the Mount Vernon Youth Bureau to attend annual Youth Leadership Forum from February 2nd to the 3rd, 2026 in Troy, New York. Please note that that is paid by a grant. That is also on the agenda. Number 12, Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Barrington Irving Technical Training School, BITTS, for the Spring Aviation Program under the Youth Employment Program, YEP. That is on the agenda. Number 13, Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Organizational Capacity Building, OCB, to provide professional development services for the YDAY staff in support of the Youth Employment Program. That is on the agenda. Number 14, Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into agreement with Toss and Press S Corp. To provide a youth hospitality program through the Youth Bureau in support of the Youth Employment Program, scheduled to commence in February 2026 and conclude in May 2026. That is on the agenda. Number 15, Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Flying Classroom, parent company of Barrington Irving Technical Training School, BITTS, to provide a drone and aviation STEM program for middle school youth funded through the Project Rise program over a 6 to 8 week period. That is on the agenda. Number 16, Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Flying Classroom, parent company of Barrington Irving Technical Training School, BITTS, to provide a drone FAA training program for high school youth funded through the Project Rise grant. That is on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. Number 17, Consumer Protection Report, monthly report for December 25. Do we need to put that on agenda? It's information, right? For information. Okay, and then we have number 18, Office of Emergency Management, an ordinance authorizing a transfer of the appropriate funds within the fiscal year 2026 adopted budget to support the auxiliary police unit. That is on the agenda. Fire Department, an ordinance authorizing the transfer of funds within the 2025 Fire Department budget. I'm gonna call for that. I need some more information on that.
You want to call for that, to come back at the end of the month, or you want to put an agenda pending where you get information by
You know
tomorrow?
what? I'll put it on a pen and get the information by tomorrow, because
Okay.
I'm trying to
So
figure
that's
out
AP.
something here.
Okay.
And, what was it?
So that's
Make it
19 is AP.
Yeah, number,
Pardon me, Mr. President?
Yeah.
Just a quick question. Why are you making that agenda pending?
He needs more information.
I need more information because just for the record, right, it's asking for a transfer within the 2025 budget.
Right.
We're in
Okay.
2026. I don't know if we even have that money.
Gotcha.
So I need to find out with the controller and have that conversation with him.
Got it.
Department of Public Safety, an ordinance authorizing training for 2 members of the service to attend the command and leading seminar April 27, 2026 through May 1st, 2026, and that's on the agenda. That's all.
Thank you. Finance and planning?
Sorry. 21, Department of Assessment and Ordinance authorizing a refund for overpayment of the 2025 county tax bill for property located at 255 Summit Avenue. That's on the agenda. I think it's like $300 and something. 22, from Planning, Department of Planning, Community Development and Ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept grant funds for the Mount Vernon Urban Renewal Agency in the total amount of $324,630 for the period January 1 to 2026 to December 31st, 2028. And authorizing related expenditures for the position of Budget Specialist 3. That's grant funded. That's going to be on the agenda. 23, Department of Planning, ordinance authorizing mayor to accept grant funds from Mount Vernon Urban Renewal Agency in a total amount of $233,193 for 3-year period, and to continue funding grant funded budget specialist 1 position. That's on the agenda. Department of Planning 24, an ordinance amending ordinance number 12 adopted by the City Council on November 21st, 2023, entitled an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept grants from the cities and execute a technical assistance service agreement for the establishment of the Mount Vernon Financial Empowerment Center. And 25, that's going to be on the agenda. You know what? I think Commissioner Molina was on the line. He wanted to speak about that as well. I'm going to give him a chance. Is he still on? All right.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Good evening. We hear you.
Okay, great. So the 3 referral letters that Councilman Boxill is referring to is a request from the Comptroller's Office to add an expense budget code for funding that was received for the Financial Empowerment Center. And so we're adding the budget code to those 3 ordinances so that the Comptroller's Office can process payment to the service provider, which is Mercy University, for the Financial Empowerment Center. So 24, 25, and 26, would you confirm that those are the 3 referral numbers, Councilman Boxill?
Yep, 24, 25, 26, yep.
Okay, that's it.
All right, 25, Department.
Can I just ask Commissioner,
Yeah, go ahead.
Commissioner Molina,
Yes,
are you there?
yes.
Are there any statistics for item number 24 on how successful this financial empowerment center is? Like, is there any report that you could send to council?
So actually, we on Friday we just submitted the second 6-month report. I would be happy to forward that to the city council members so you can review, and just some highlights.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, all right, I'll
That'd
do
be
that.
perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead, Boxill. You on 25?
Let's turn my mic back on. All right, 25, Department of Planning, Community Development, and Ordinance, amending ordinance number 8 adopted by City Council on January 10, 2024, entitled an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept a grant from the African American Mayors Association in support of the Mount Vernon Financial Empowerment Center. That's going to be on the agenda. 26, Department of Planning and Community Development, and ordinance amending ordinance number 31 adopted by the City Council on August 14, 2025, entitled an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into authorizing the mayor to execute a contract amendment with the cities for the Financial Empowerment Fund to incorporate legacy planning services in the Mount Vernon Financial Empowerment Center. That is on the agenda. 27, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mount Vernon retroactively appointing Gwen Jackson to the Board of Assessment Review for a 5-year term. I'm gonna leave this agenda pending. I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure who this person is, and I did not speak to the assessor about it, so I'm gonna speak to her as well.
So you're leaving this 27 as agenda pending?
Yep.
Yeah,
You-
also,
comment on it?
I'm sorry?
You wanted to comment on?
Yeah, I just have a quick question.
Go ahead.
Also wanted to know why this is retroactive. Why it didn't come to us prior?
I didn't get.
That's what I second.
Any information about it.
Second, okay.
I've read the letter and I'm having a brain hiccup right now.
The referral letter just says that someone resigned, I think
Right.
it was, what's his name, Ray
Mm-hmm.
Holland, and that was back in September. So,
All right.
Right,
You'll
so
get that
I think
information
that
from the
further-
assessor tomorrow.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that furthers my question as to, did they have to have somebody in that position
Yes.
to, and that's why it has to be retroactive? Okay,
Mhm.
so I'm getting the.
But you'll get all the information
Position,
in the morning, just.
I got a question
but
too.
I'm not sure I could vote for that, so.
If
Wallace?
we're making, if we're making it
it
retroactive,
sounds like the person is already in the position.
is that, and then the position.
I don't know. I'm
Does
just
that
guessing.
pay become retroactive or something, a salary or anything?
That we'll get all that information tomorrow, just to make sure.
Okay.
I think it's
Uh,
a small stipend that they get. I
but
don't
yeah.
think it's much, but yeah, I'll ask.
So Boxer will get clarification on 27 tomorrow.
Yep, yes. I think that's it.
5 and 6, you'll get clarification for. 5, 6, and 8. I'm 5 and 6. You'll get 8 tomorrow. Turnquest Jones, you'll get clarification. Yeah. And then clarification for number 19 for Wallace. And then we'll see if those items are gonna be on the agenda or not for Wednesday. Do we have any other business to come before the council? No, hearing none. Thank you so much for this long meeting. And we'll see you all on Wednesday. Have a great evening.